Check out thechosenprime.com in the link in the description below for this and other great items.
Alright, welcome everyone to another radio-free Cybertron review. I'm your host, Diecast, and today we have Warbotron WB03-B, which is their speed wheel. Whew, that's a lot to say. It is Collection Warbotron, as you can see on the packaging here, WB03-B, and it's this nice little slip cover, same as the other two offerings so far. You have the flip-up box with the window that would have speed wheel in it if I didn't already take him out. You can see some design work for speed wheel on the background, and then you also have this nice artwork with speed wheel up top, and on the side not too much. On the back you get a nice picture of Computron, or whatever they're going to call the final mode of him. They should call it Betatron, because that would be funny. And then, of course, you have this pull tab, which usually pulls off. So you just reach your finger in there. We'll get the box out of the way. And then you can see, comes with these instructions, similar to what we saw with their Shockwave. With the nice foil on the front, speed wheel down at the bottom. It shows you how to go from robot to vehicle mode, which is good because that's how it comes packaged. And then you have this nice collector's card, speed wheel. Skill is all the way. Strength and intelligence are only 3 out of 5 stars. Hopefully when they do the full Computron, his intelligence should be ridiculous, like off the charts. So let's go ahead and take a look at speed wheel. His light piping is really awesome, and one of the reasons for that is the back, instead of being blue, is clear light piping, which lets even more light in, which is just absolutely amazing. I mean, Warbotron's been killing it with their light piping. I really like this figure. There's a lot of nice things. I think I have an affection to it just because it's a car, and I really like cars. So just that alone. The colors are striking. The red and the grays are really nice. There's some gold bits in here, some clear plastic with little silver paint on it for the gun. The wheels are painted really nice. The gun has a nice two-tone black and then silver on it. And then you come to the back, there's some silver on these bits here, some silver on the spoiler in car mode, the silver on the face, and there's even some bits of orange on the face right up here. So really nice details overall on this guy. And we'll go ahead and get into articulation real quick. His head is on a ball joint, and the peg is pretty high, so he can look up, he can look down. You can only look down a little bit, but he can look up pretty far. Full rotation if you want that. His arms are one of the biggest flaws on this figure. Now, I definitely think this figure is worth getting, but I just want to point out that that's all he can lift his arm up if it's straight. If it's out front, he can only go up about that far too. He's just going to hit his head, and it kind of looks silly. It's downright silly. And then this also, his arm, I mean, it's basically for transformation, but I don't understand why Warbotron can't just have something in here to make this arm extend. That way you can get a little bit of normal arm movement, kind of like MP10 has. I mean, his arm comes out that way. If you want to pose it up, you can. And I just think that would have helped this figure so much, because it just doesn't feel natural when you're trying to pose it. At least the upper body. The lower body is fine. There's a lot going on with that. Same thing on this. These pieces that form the spoiler just kind of hang out on the side here. I wish there would have been a way to flip these back to make them fit flush against the back of his arm. Now, maybe there's a reason they didn't do that, but I just don't see why they couldn't have. And if I have to be picky also, something with the front of this windshield, it's a little bit too big, the windshield into the roof, to sit on front of his knees. I don't mind it too much, but I just feel there's something they could have did different with that. Take the guns off, just so you can see him without the guns. There's also some nice gold paint on what is going to be the exhaust in car mode, with some black on the inside to represent that carbon look. There's some darker red paint there on the bottom of the arm also. I believe that's going to be the tail light. There's a lot of nice paint details on this figure. Here on the leg, there's some gray. Get down into the rotation on the bottom of the figure. He does have a waist rotation, which can do a full 360. The legs are on a universal, so you can go out about that far, down, back, 90 degree at the knee, or very close to 90 degrees. Then the heel piece on the back tilts up and back, and also the toe or the front of the foot with also some rotation on the front, so you can get him in some really nice wide poses if you want him to. So again, really nice figure. Love the lower articulation. Can't complain about that at all. Let's go ahead and get him in here with his other Computron members, or his other Warbotron members, or however you want to call them. And definitely, I love Speedwheel. I think Lightspeed is still my favorite. Speedwheel is probably the tallest out of the three, but Lightspeed just seems a little bit beefier just because of the wheels going up on top and everything. Hammer Sharpener is the weakest out of the group, and I will be doing a review on him. I kind of skipped around. I just like Speedwheel a little bit better. A little bit easier to do the review for a figure you actually like. So, get these guys out of the way. And we'll get into the transformation on him. First thing we want to do, we're just going to get these guns out of the way. Put them off to the side. Then this opens up his chest. And of course you just rotate the head inside. Close that back up. And we're going to rotate these arms up to about there. Same thing on this side. Rotate these arms up to about there. We're going to take these side pieces, bring them around. They're going to go right underneath the window right there on the side. Same thing on this side. And then these arms, if you angle them up a little bit, there's going to be a tab right in there that this clear plastic tabs into. That kind of locks the arms in place. So do that on this side too. Rotate them up, and that locks those side pieces in place. Everything locks in place on this figure really nice. Then we're going to come up to the top here, or the back. We're going to pull this up, rotate this around. Then it's on a double hinge here. I'm going to pull that forward and rotate this whole piece down. It's kind of a tight fit. And I just be a little careful with it. There we go. is a very, very tight fit. And then this collapses down. And then this black piece lines up with the red pieces on the side. And then the hands, if you didn't already flip them in, you're just going to flip those hands in. And I love how they actually gave you little tabs to flip out the hands, because as with the rest of the Warbotron figures, the hands are in there really tight and it's hard to swing those out. So just having those additional tabs helps you get in there and get those hands out. And this is one of my favorite parts of the transformation right here. You're going to spin these arms around right there, and then these are going to make the back of the car, which is just a nice little touch. They lock into each other real nice. And of course it's got a little bit of a gap right now. There you go. And that both those arms make the back of the car, and that just looks excellent. And it's painted also so nice. And then the wings just come rotate around. Rotate them around. Then you take these two pieces and they tab together. And then you can angle the spoiler whatever direction you want. I kind of like it facing up a little bit, just like that. And then all we have to do is the legs. Come down here. This is also a little neat part that they put in. It's very tight, kind of hard to get it out. As you unclip these sides, and that frees up the legs. That way they can rotate down, open these back panels, and they just rotate. Unplug these side panels too. And then these rotate down. Just like so. Do that on this side. Rotate that down. And then what'll happen is everything will start tabbing in together. You also can close up the foot on the front here. Squeeze those together. And when you push these tabs in on the side, they're going to lock into those holes on the side of the waist. Then you can close these bottom panels. And he is just a super solid car. He does roll relatively well. There's even a little spot here where you can open it up and there's some engine detail in there. It's not painted, but it's there, which is nice. Nice vents on here. Just one of the reasons I really love this car. I think this is one of the best cars I've seen in a while. And then as far as the guns go, you can take the guns and you can put them on the side here if you want, or what I prefer to do is put them here right on the top, And this is where I was talking about, like, these guns, I can't get the handles to go all the way in, but they sit at kind of an angle, which makes it look really cool on the car, just to have them pointed up like that. So I really dig that, and it's really nice. And then as far as vehicle mode goes, as far as foot mode goes for this guy, I believe what's going to happen is you're just going to untab his heels or his feet. And this is a little tough to untab too. There we go. So you're just going to untab them. And then there's a slot in there that the foot's going to go. So I believe that's going to be the foot piece, and then there is a connector right where his head is. So all this is going to have to open up and probably sit. I don't know if it's going to sit on the side of the vehicle like that or on the back. But there's his connector port right there where the center bot's going to lock into. So I checked the instructions, and believe it or not, the foot mode was in the instructions. So what you're going to do is disconnect the spoiler, like you're going back into robot mode. Going to angle them up. We're going to rotate these arms up and over, just like that. Same thing on this side. Rotate them over, and then these arms are going to face the back like that. So that is pretty much going to be your foot mode for Computron, with the foot piece that we don't have. But there you have it. Thanks again for tuning in. Hopefully this video was a little bit better quality. I just realized that my camera was making two separate recordings. One was a lower quality video and one was the HD video. And I just found out where the HD video was. I want to thank everyone who has been watching, and if this is your first time, thank you for joining us, and definitely subscribe to us, follow us on Twitter, Facebook, all those places, and we'll see you next time.